everyone and welcome to my channel Languages and More. Today's video is all about English grammar tenses. Many students are afraid of English grammar tenses. They think that there are so many of them, plus there is the passive voice. And they are afraid to start speaking, to start reading in English or watching TV series, movies in English as well. But to my mind, we don't need to be afraid of English tenses, and we actually don't need to wait until we know all of them. Today, I want to tell you about 6 English tenses which I think are the most important ones, and thanks to which you can start speaking, understanding others, reading books, watching TV series, and do everything in English. And but you need to know these tenses confidently. And what I mean by knowing them confidently is that you can form them. You can form affirmative, negative, and questions sentences, and you also know when to use them. You know how do they differ from each other, and you do not confuse them, because there are 2 present tenses. I'm going to talk today about 2 past tenses and 2 future tenses. Actually, 1 future tense and 1 specific grammar construction to talk about future. And if you know them confidently, as I said, then you can read English books, you can have conversations with native or non-native English speakers, and you can be confident, you can do everything in English. And then, of course, you will learn other grammar rules, tenses, and enlarge your vocabulary, etc. But my point is that to start doing everything in English, you don't need to wait until you know everything. You can start actually right now by learning these 6 tenses confidently. And let's look at them and let's discuss them. How do we form them and when do we use them? In which contexts? In which situations? And our first tense is the present simple tense. In order to form this tense, we need to take I, you, we, they plus the verb, or he, she, it plus the verb with s or es ending. And for example, I can say I cook every day. I plus the verb cook and every day phrase. Or she cooks every day. And then how do we form the negative sentences? To form it, we need to use do not or the short form don't for I, you, we, they. And we have I don't cook every day. It's not true, because actually I cook every day. Or she doesn't, the full form is does not and the short one doesn't. She doesn't cook every day. Then how do we form questions? We put do for I, you, we, they, and does for he, she, it. And we can ask, do you cook every day, or does your friend cook every day? We don't know, but what we do know is how to form these questions. So, and that's all you need to know about the formation of the present simple. But as I said, you also need to know when to use this tense. In many grammar course books, when you learn this tense, you can see such texts as I wake up at 7 o'clock, I have breakfast at 8 o'clock, I go to school, I go to work, I go home, I go to the gym, I cook, I run, etc. Then I go to sleep. So, as you see, we use the present simple in order to talk about everyday routine, about things in general. For example, I read books. It means that in general I read them. So maybe sometimes, maybe usually, maybe never. For example, as for me, I read books every day. I try to read as much as possible. So I really feel sorry for those who don't read. But everything can happen. And so if I tell you that I read books, it means that in general, maybe every day, maybe regularly. And this is when we use the present simple. Also, if you want to ask people about something in general or about their routine, you also ask these questions in the present simple. You say, do you read books? Or do you cook? Do you go, for example, somewhere? Do you meet someone, etc.? For all of these questions in general, we need the present simple. And how does it differ from the next present tense, the present continuous tense? Let's look at its formation first of all. So in order to form the present continuous tense, for affirmative sentences, we need the verb to be, and you all know the verb to be, I'm sure. So I am, you, we, they are, he, she, it is, plus the verb with ing ending. So I can say I am cooking. I am cooking right now. Imagine that I am doing it right now. If you do something at the moment of the speech, then you use the present continuous tense. And this is how it differs from the present simple when we talk just in general about things. So I am cooking or I'm reading something right now. Actually, right now I am recording my video for you, and right now I am looking at my timer on the camera, so I look if it's all right, because I only can have 20 minutes video when I need to press the button again in order to continue. So as I said, I am cooking, I am reading, I am doing something, I am talking to you, I am explaining these grammar rules. And in order to form negative sentences, we are still working with the verb to be, but negative form. I am not, you, we, they are not, and he, she, it is not. Short forms aren't, isn't, plus the verb with the ing ending. I am not cooking right now. It would be great if I would be cooking right now, but I am not cooking right now. I am not eating right now. I am not drinking coffee right now. Maybe you are drinking coffee right now. Maybe you are eating right now. but for sure I can say that you are watching my video right now and you understand everything. And so maybe someone is not drinking coffee, someone is drinking coffee, we don't know. But what we really know is how to form the negative form of the present continuous. And then, of course, we need to make questions. It's very important to be able to make questions, because usually when I have my classes with my students, I ask them a lot of questions. How are you? What did you do yesterday? What do you read? And where did you go? Where have you been? Etc., etc. I ask them a lot of questions. And they answer, but rarely they ask me questions. So, and that's why I want to be sure that, but actually you need to ask questions in real life situations. So I make sure that you know how to form questions. Again, you ask them when you want to know what is going on right now. Are you drinking coffee? Maybe you are. Are you watching my video right now? Of course, you are watching my video right now. Are you eating? Are you reading? Are you doing something? It can be true, can be not, but the main idea is to ask these questions correctly. And again, let's review it. Let's be sure we know these two tenses. Again, the present simple. We talk about general things, about our routine, everyday situations, something we do regularly, something we repeat. And the present continuous is to talk about things which are happening right now. Actions we perform at the moment of the speech. Actions we are doing when we are talking or when we are performing them as well. So I am recording my video. It's true. I can say as well, I record my videos. And I can say I'm recording my video. The difference is that if I say I record my video, it means that I do it every day, regularly, or usually, sometimes, etc., if I do not specify it. If I say I'm recording, you understand that I'm doing it right now. So this is the main difference. If you understand, if you know these tables, if you know how to form affirmative, negative, and question sentences in the present simple and in the present continuous, then you can use them actively and you can speak it. Now let's look at the next tenses. As I promised, there would be 6 tenses. I need to flip my paper. Sorry for that noise. And now we have the past simple and the present perfect. These are very important tenses as well. So let's look at them. First of all, let's look how do we form them. So it's you probably know these 3 forms of the verbs. So you need this table in front of you, and in order to form the past simple, you really need to learn the 3 forms of the verb. For some verbs, for regular ones, it's easy. You need to add just ed ending. But for others, you need to take the past form or the second form of the verb in order to make affirmative sentences. For example, I can say, I cooked yesterday. I watched something yesterday. I read my favorite book yesterday. And for I, you, we, they, he, she, it, we need to do the same. To take the right form of the verb, the past form of the verb. I cooked. To cook is a regular verb, so we just add ed, cooked. But for example, go is irregular verb. Go, went, gone. So I went to the restaurant yesterday. It's not true. It's just an example. I went to the restaurant yesterday. So I didn't go to the restaurant yesterday. In order to form the negative sentence, we need to use did not or didn't, the short form, plus the verb without ed, and just the first form of the verb. So I didn't go to the restaurant. And did you go to the restaurant yesterday? In order to ask questions, we need to use did plus the verb again for all of the pronouns. For I, you, we, they, he, she, it. So as you noticed, I always added yesterday. That's important because when we talk in the past simple, we really talk about some actions, some events in the past, in the specific time. So it can be yesterday, 2 days ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, or only 30 seconds ago. But if we specify the event, if we specify the time when it happened, we need to use the past simple. But when we talk about our life experience, about things we've done or places we've visited during our life, then we need to use the present perfect. And in order to form affirmative sentences, we need to take I, you, we, they, plus have, the auxiliary verb, or he, she, it, plus has, again the auxiliary verb, and the third form of the verb. When you have this table, for example, go, went, gone, you need to take the third form, or otherwise known as the past participle. And that's why we have I have been to China. Actually, it's not true. Maybe you've been to China, or maybe your friend has been to China. Then maybe someone has been to London or to Moscow or to Bucharest. We do not specify when, that's why we use the present perfect. As well, we use the present perfect when the action happened and we see the result of this action right now. For example, I've read this book. So it's finished. I have finished it. In order to form the negative sentences, we need to use I, we, you, they plus have not or haven't, the short form, and he, she, it plus has not or hasn't, the short form again. And then in order to ask questions, it's very important again to be able to ask questions. And we need to say, if we want to ask about our friend's experience, our colleague's experience, when we say, have you been somewhere? Have you tried sushi? Have you visited this place? Or has she, has he done something? Again, we need to use the verb in the third form. And again, let's review the difference between the present, the past simple, and the present perfect. When we talk about something, what happened in the specific time in the past, 2 minutes ago, 2 days ago, 5 years ago, we need to use the past simple. For example, I was in Moscow 5 years ago. When we use the present perfect, when we talk about our experience, things we've done or things we haven't done. So I have been somewhere. You probably have been also somewhere, some specific places. You can name them. And so now let's move on and let's go to the next two very important tenses to talk about the future tense. Again, I flip my paper and we have the future simple and the specific construction we use to talk about future to be going to do something. So the future simple, it's very simple indeed. For I, you, we, they, he, she, it, for all the pronouns we need to take will plus the verb. I will cook tomorrow. I will help you because you have very heavy bags. Or I will translate this word for you because you don't know this word. In order to form the negative sentences, we need to use will not or the short form want plus the verb again. He will not come. He is sick. Will you come? Will you do your homework? This is how we form the questions. Will you help me? Will you explain these things to me? Etc. When do we use this tense? When we make our decisions about the future on the spot. For example, I decide to buy this dress even if I didn't plan to do so. Then I say, I will buy this dress. Or I decided to read this book even if I didn't plan to do so. I will read this book. But when we talk about something we have planned, about our plans for the future, then it's better to use to be going to do something. And in order to form, all we need is to change this verb to be. And you know this verb very well. I am, you, we, they, are, he, she, it is, going to, and then the verb. He is going to cook, I am going to read, they are going to travel to China next year. In order to form the negative sentence, again we work with the verb to be. I am not, you, we, they are not, he, she, it is not, or isn't, aren't the short versions. I am not going to cook today, I already have food. Then am I going to stop making these random sentences, random examples? No, I am not going to stop. Are you going to listen to English podcasts? Maybe you are going to listen to some English podcasts, maybe not. As for me, I love podcasts and I listen to them regularly. Is he going to do something special, etc.? When we talk about our plans, things we decided to do, we planned to do, we have planned to do, and we share our plans with others, as well as when we ask about plans of other people. And let's review the difference between the future simple and to be going to do something. Again, when we make our decision on the spot, we use the future simple. I will help you because I see you have very heavy bags. But I'm going to help you. It means I have planned it before. I was thinking about it, and that's why I am going to help you with your homework. And let's now review shortly all the tenses we've discussed. So first of all, we've discussed the present simple and the present continuous. And now you know the difference when you talk about things in general, when we talk about our everyday routine, habits, etc. We use the present simple. I do something, I wake up, I run, I cook, I edit my videos, I record them, etc. It's my routine. But when we talk about things which are happening right now, we use the present continuous. I am watching something right now. I am explaining these rules right. Then when we talk about the past. The past simple when we have a specific time in the past, a specific event which happened in the past. And the present perfect when we talk about our life experience. Then the future simple, it's for things we plan to do on the spot. I will help you. And to be going to do something, it's when we talk about our plans, our intentions in the future. So I hope that I explained you the differences and the formation of these tenses clearly, and you'll be able to use them more confidently. And all I want to say is that that English language is our tool to communicate with others, to receive information, to listen to English podcasts, to watch YouTube channels in English. And we need to grab this opportunity. Because if we will wait till the perfect time when we are perfect in English, then we can miss a lot, and we can miss many hours of interesting conversations, many hours of interesting movies in original language, many hours of reading interesting books again in original language. And that's why the sooner we start, the better. I hope you understood these tenses clearly, you'll use them confidently, you'll practice them, and see you next time. Bye bye.